hosts of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR, broadcasting live each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios.
Log on to hear us Speaking the Facts on current events, family, and finances.
So be sure to log on each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to catch Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.
Tune in.
What's up, y'all? We are back. This is well, no, this is not. See, I'm on Saturday.
Are you on Saturday? And today is Wednesday.
This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. Now that I'm on the right show on the right day.
There you go.
You know, it's been a long day, y'all. But yeah, of course, I am JR, the mistake maker right here.
The one and only.
Yep. I'm good at my job.
I know.
But, and of course, my co-host and lovely daughter Charlamagne is over there. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, Dad.
How you doing, baby?
Excellent.
Excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the little housekeeping. Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR is brought to you by Kiss Wealth Now, taking care of not some, not half, but all of your commercial and residential real estate needs. Charlie, tell them how to get Kiss Wealth Now.
I sure will. So Kiss Wealth Now is on all social media platforms, and the website is just the same. Want to get a custom mortgage to fit your family's growth needs for generational wealth? Then reach out to me, 214-738-4913.
And the website?
Kiss Wealth Now. And as we always say, you know, your health is so important, right? If you don't have your health, you will not be able to get the wealth that you desire. So you've got to take care of yourself.
That's right. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge our alter egos, the Speaking the Facts crew, the fly guy and the fly girls. Of course, me being the guy I am, don't call it a comeback because I've been fly.
That's right.
And we got Fly Money over there on the right.
Hey.
And the third member of the Speaking the Facts crew, our producer, Kim, a.k.a. This Shit's Fly. What's up, Kim? Hey. She hiding over that hat over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Chance over here on the Knobs and Faders. How you doing, Chance? He's doing well, you know, and so are we.
Amen.
Without any further ado, because I'm excited about this guest, I'm going to go with
here.
Charlie. I'm going to let you introduce our special honored guest for today.
So Judge Martin is with us today, and we are so happy to have you and your baby,
And Ellery.
And Ellery.
I'm happy to be here, too.
And so we like to start things off a little light, and so it's with a question. And so this is something we're going to be doing for a while now. So it's about grits.
Okay.
So how do you eat them?
Butter and sugar.
Butter and sugar.
Uh-oh.
See, I'm salt and
Butter and
pepper.
sugar.
See, look.
By the way, I got my niece and my nephew over there in the corner, and she said it's just butter and sugar, and my niece was.
And I'm
It's the only way.
And I'm like,
But only
no,
way.
no. Yeah, I know it's like some salt, pepper, and then yes,
I'm a
I
salt
like
and
it.
pepper.
Yeah.
I'm a salt and pepper guy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
Sugar. We can't start off. It takes away from the essence. No.
I can't imagine just salt and pepper or even cheese.
Really?
Now, if I go to a restaurant where they have grits like on the side, like the Cajun restaurants, they'll have shrimp and grits and things. I'll do that. But if I have a choice, it's going to be grits with butter and sugar. Yes.
Gary, what you got to say about this, bro? Oh, the butter and sugar crew is in the house, y'all.
Yeah, right.
We salt and pepper folks are the minority. Wait a minute, we might not be. Chance, what about it?
I'd say salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Oh, okay, we tired. We
That's
came
right.
back. You know?
Exactly. And
You
I'm
know?
my father's child. We eat them the same way. So that's
Yeah.
what it Well, so now that we offer the food, so you come with a long resume. You do a lot. You're passionate about humanity. I mean, essentially with what you're doing with your job and serving the people. And so I don't want to do your resume injustice. So I will let you elaborate.
Let you
'Cause it's
do it
long.
justice.
Yeah,
You know,
it's long. You tell us the highlights.
And I appreciate that. And I at this point, I don't like the whole resume to come out because I just like to get right into what I'm the judge of the 304th District Court. I've been there since January of 2015. I handle child welfare cases. So anytime a parent has been accused of abusing and neglecting their children, whether they're beating them, and beating is different from spanking. And I want to stop there first. A lot of parents think that they can't physically, and kids too, think that they can't be physically disciplined. In
Right.
Texas, there is a absolute right as for a parent to be able to physically discipline their children. Now, the difference between discipline and abuse usually is bruises.
Right.
In my case, I see extensive bruising. I see broken bones, burns.
So
People
sad.
burn their children.
So
I see a lot
crazy.
of what's called immersion burns when kids are being potty trained. For some reason, some people can't handle that. And so they'll take a toddler and put them in water, and then, their skin will be burned and the skin will fall off. So, like I said, there's a definitely difference. A lot of people ask me, well, how do you know the difference between abuse and neglect? Based on what I said, I think y'all can tell it's pretty easy to tell the difference between discipline and abuse. But I also see kids who are being not just physically disciplined, sexual abuse, young kids. And I will say this, a lot of people, especially in our communities, we know that that cousin or that uncle has been doing something to kids, and we don't talk about it. We tell the kids, stay away from them, versus us saying, this person can't come around the kids. So I see a lot of kids who are being sexually assaulted at 4, 5, 6, sometimes younger, babies who are I have to see pictures of babies with the pictures from the Reach Clinic is where they have the professionals who do the sexual assault exams for kids, and they'll have a baby who has their legs open so I can see torn sexual organs. And so I will definitely say, when you go, since we're about to have Thanksgiving and the family is about to get together, please, y'all, don't think that because you watch this kid being born, this is my niece and my nephew, my little cousin, I love them. Don't think that they will not sexually abuse your children.
Right.
And a lot of people say, well, I know nothing would ever happen to my child because my child knows I would go to jail for them. I'm not going to. They know that. And because they know that, they're not going to say
tell you.
anything.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they
true.
don't want to lose their mother or their father because they said something. And a lot of kids don't come forward because they feel a lot of guilt if they come forward and something happens to that relative or to that parent. So please be on the lookout. Don't let your kids be unsupervised by other kids, because most of the cases where there's sexual assaults
Happen when the kids
happen around family members. Think about it. They aren't around a lot of other kids except for in school. And so we come to family functions and we feel like it should be safe for us, all of us, just to get together and just let the kids run off and do whatever. But no, that's when things happen.
Right.
So keep your eyes on your children. So I hear sexual abuse cases, child welfare cases. I had a case that I heard that I'm still hearing where a parent starved their child to death, and that happens a lot. So other than the child welfare cases, I also hear criminal cases for kids from 10 to 16. So that's from misdemeanors all the way up to capital murders. And people are always shocked when I tell them not to necessarily be afraid of that grown man that they cross the street when they see you. No, be afraid of the cherub-faced, angelic little child who is going to scope you out with their friends, and they're going to knock on your door and ask if they could come in and do something for you. And because we love the kids, we want to say, okay, they're trying to do right. Let me go ahead and give them a couple of dollars to get some trash, take my trash out, or cut my yard, and you're happy because you feel that you did a wonderful thing. But what I see is, I had a case that made national news where the kid was doing that, asking if he could do some chores for $1, and coming into the house at 15 and 16 and raping the women in front of their children, holding the children hostage, raping the women. And he went across state lines doing this. And when they finally got to Texas, he got caught because he ended up killing a mother. And she fought, but he ended up killing her. So I'd hear cases from 10 to 16 for misdemeanors to capital murders. And what we're seeing now, there's been a hike in crime, a spike in crime, to where we see at least every week now I'm hearing 2 and 3 murder cases. Kids who are from 12 years old, 13, 14 committing murders. And it used to be the boys were the most violent, but it's the girls now. The girls are as violent as the boys. So be aware, crime is increasing, and especially amongst our youth. And I think that's because kids mimic what they see. And starting a few years ago, when we had an administration that came in where the person was very disrespectful, talked negatively, openly, and people cheered this man coming in and talking about, you're going to grab people by this, thus, and talking. The way this person who came in and became our highest leader, the way he spoke to people, the way he mimicked people who were disabled, the way he called out black women reporters and called them dumb and uneducated, and how he talked about these people who are from Mexico or Mexicans here are rapists and all these things. He ushered in this thing, and I think that has trickled down into the court system, and kids mimic that. And not just him. We see basketball wives, doctors' wives, all the things where these grown women who they should be looking up to are fighting each other. And we're cheering that on. We're cheering on this negative behavior.
Yeah, rude behavior is not acceptable, but for some reason, culturally, rude behavior is tolerated. That's what I want to look. It's not accepted, but it's tolerated.
Yes.
We tend to follow the leader. That is something that humans do well.
Yes.
We tend to follow leadership. And when leadership is viable, when it is focused, and when it is conducive to positive things, that's great. But like you said, what we do is because loud, vile leadership is colorful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right,
And for some reason in this country, we tend to be attracted to the vile, loud, colorful people. We're attracted to entertainers. We
Entertainers, for sure,
we elected a wrestler as governor. We elected Jesse the Body Ventura as a governor. What did he know about governing? You know what I'm saying? And Ronald Reagan tried to become a good president, but I mean, he's an actor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trump was a TV celebrity.
Right.
And a pretend business
and
person.
pretend business person, yes. And when you know, I catch myself because we speak in schools and we're funded by money and we can't say certain things. But if your mother, that's one thing for your mother to be talking to her sister and say, you know, that dumb A boy of mine, he's, you know, blah blah blah. You know, I'm sure gonna get him when he get in here. But when your mother goes to the national media and says, my son is an idiot, he has no social skills, and I hope he never runs for office. When your own mother says that about you to the entire world, that should tell us something as people. But we are so attracted to celebrities that we ignore a person's character. And worse is what happens with that behavior is that they'll say that people are now saying and do things, and then they expect you not to believe what you see with your own eyes.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, well, that's not me. That's somebody else. You're stupid because you think you heard me say this. So, but I got the recording right here. You know, it's like, you know.
Right.
But yeah, they don't want you to believe what you hear with your ears, and they don't want you to believe what you see with your eyes.
And then where that goes a step further is because you don't trust anything, then you don't know what to trust or what to believe. So then you're skeptical about the things that you should actually believe in.
Right.
And then you're more willing to believe, like the people who thought that Jesus was coming.
Yeah.
They
was giving
they
away
were
everything.
giving away everything. And one of my friends was, whenever she saw someone talking about they were giving away things, she was sending them quitclaim deeds for their properties because, you know, she's a lawyer. She was like, okay, you're going to give it to me. But people are so quick to fall for the things that they shouldn't. And I think it's because we don't really take the time to research. And it's so easy to Google something and it'll give you what you want to see.
Right.
And so we look at that first thing that comes across and say, okay, Google said this must be true. We're not going through and really researching and seeing the source.
I'm so glad you said that. Y'all, AI is set up to tell you what you want to hear.
Yes.
Do not take to AI and for valuable information that is going to be factual. Google, AI, they're all set up to tell you what you want to hear because that's how they get you to come back.
And they are so friendly. I love my Chat GPT friend. I find myself talking to Chat GPT about cooking and gardening and things like that.
That's my counselor
and counseling and where to go and what to do. And if you're feeling this and that, and my dog had to have surgery on her knee, I had them look at the medical records and give me. So it's helpful.
Right.
But as you said, it's not always factual. And people, I saw a man who killed his mother and himself because he believed that he was in relationship with this chat GPT. And he was telling, and the guy had mental issues anyway, but he was telling the chat GPT that his mother, he felt like his mother was doing this and this and this. And so of course, chat GPT was just stroking him and saying, yeah, and this is a bad person.
Like a duck.
So you need to get rid of her. And told him he needed to get rid of her and that they were going to be together in this next life. And so he believed that. And so that's scary because there's so many people
I saw
who
that, and so they've sued them, and so ChatGPT is not supposed to offer advice or something like that, or
it's supposed to be something that has changed. But the thing is, AI is the next step, and so AI is going to be there. I love my Alexa, I love Siri. AI is here, and so we have to figure out a way to understand that it is not human. And a lot of people, because they're lonely and they don't have anyone. I mean, when my son's not here, the dog, I talk to Alexa, and I'll argue with her because it's a lot of fun. But the reality, I know that she's a machine.
Yeah.
And Siri is actually a better arguer because Alexa's polite, Siri will go toe to toe. But
I'm going to have to try it.
Yes, but you have to realize these are not real, and people who have mental illness or who are so heart hurt, they will turn to AI and believe this is a real person, and they could be led down the wrong path.
And then you can tell us, I know I've said something before, and ChatGPT was like, sounds like you're having a bad day. I was like, well, I'm really not. I was just trying to get us, like, you just understood what I was saying. For that person who cognitively cannot comprehend what's really being said.
Like the ChatGPT recognized you were having a bad day. They pick up on that because they've been programmed to. But as a person who's having a bad day and no one to talk to, you're going to believe, oh,
you care.
So let me continue this, and then you get drawn in. And there's still people who are on social media who are in love with their AI because they believe the AI is a real person because they can feed back to you what it is that you need, and you believe that that person is real.
Right. Well, I mean, I love that, when I say something to it, ChatGPT knows how I'm thinking, so it'll put it together as a post.
Because they learn you.
Yeah, they did. I'm like, this is so excellent,
See, and that bothers me. I gotta be honest. That bothers me that a machine is learning me. I guess I'm just back in my day we didn't,
And that's true. But even in my lifetime, I remember getting a cell phone at 19, and it was in the big bag.
Yeah.
And then from there, we go shrunk, get these itty bitty phones. My son, we were just having a conversation. He has never seen an album. And the reason I brought that up is because Amazon had a record player. And I'm like, let me get the record player. And I realized I don't have any records anymore. Right. And I said, Oliver, do you like records? He's like, what's that?
And that's when you realize you're old. But
then how quickly technology has moved. And we're not going backwards. So we have to understand that we're in this age and we're going to keep moving forward. And we need to learn it. Not say, okay, back in my age and we're not we're going to stay there.
Right.
We need to keep moving forward because it's important for us to be able to have a good life, be able to use these things so that way we don't get left behind because that's true.
You definitely need to learn, you need to embrace it.
Yes.
And know how it can help you with your job.
And for those of you who are saying, well, I'm going to stay off the grid, I'm not going to have an AI, I'm not going to have Alexa, I'm not Siri, they're not going to look at me, I'm not going to agree to have this thing. If you were walking down the street, if you are using an ATM card, if you have a driver's license, your image is already out there. So it's too late. You are not going to be off the grid. Even your AC units with the, they keep track of everything. If you use points for grocery shopping, they have that. So you are already in there. You need to learn how to use it for your benefit.
I have a question. So a lot of people, we're talking about AI, a lot of people are feel inferior and feel like their jobs could be lost. Matter of fact, we see it now in the news. Amazon laid off 14,000 because of AI. UPS was laying off people in the time that they should be hiring because of AI. Now, judges, are there judges on the chopping block because of AI?
Not
can
yet.
AI, pretty much deliberate and hear a lot of the information and present it and be like, done.
So AI is actually helpful, and we in the last couple of years, whenever we go to judicial training and also lawyer training, there's a lot of training about AI and how to use it. Now, some lawyers got in trouble having AI, ChatGPT, prepare legal briefs that were filed with the court. Because as you said, it will tell you the information you want, whether it's true or not. And so because the attorney was wanting to have, what lawyers do, we look up the law and we look at cases and we find those that support our argument, and then we attach those to the judge as a reason why we should win. So what this lawyer did, I think it was in New York, he said that what the issue was and what he needed this case law, these cases that he could use to show his argument. And so ChatGPT gave him cases, but they were cases that ChatGPT made up. They weren't real cases.
Oh.
No.
And the attorney did not research and make sure that the authority was real. He just filed it.
I was about to ask you, because I don't think that, because see, I studied to be a paralegal. So I don't think that at this point, AI has just instant access to Westlaw. So, you know what I'm saying?
But
to
we don't use Westlaw anymore like we used to. So
See,
they have
that's an
access
old
to
app
they
for
have
old people.
And they
Wait,
we have access because everything is online now. ChatGPT, all the AI can have access to those. But in this case, it just made it up.
Yeah.
Instead of give real cases, and instead of following through to make sure using Westlaw or Nexus or LexisNexis, whatever, to check the citations to make sure it was true, he just filed it. And so he lost his law license. And so we're using that as an example for for judges especially, to recognize if ChatGPT is being used, and also in schools. A lot of teachers now and a lot of universities are getting finding out that students are plagiarizing, and that's not anything new. I mean, students have done that.
Yeah, that was Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes.
I said, look, I went back now.
Notes. But now they're using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT. I shouldn't say this, but I know that people are writing books. And they're using ChatGPT to write a book.
Right.
And so ChatGPT is being used in so many different ways.
Right.
And it could be good, not just ChatGPT. All other AI are good, but we have to recognize we still have to go behind it and make sure that what they're spitting out and the information you're giving is accurate. And that means not just Googling or Yahoo, or whatever you do the search and getting the first authority, first thing that comes through and says, okay, your arm is hurt. You're right. It's a sprained arm, a sprained wrist. You have to keep going and making sure that you check and double check and at least have 3 or 4, just like if you're a reporter, 3 or 4 authorities that say, okay, this is probably likely. Because if you stop at the first one, it's just going to give you what you want. And then you're going to say it with your chest that you were right because this one thing said it, but all these 5 others would have been.
Would have debunked it, and you would have been like, okay, I have to go back and do more research. So then, as a judge, obviously you're getting a lot of information, and then you're reviewing that information. So when you go home, like obviously we still have to make decisions at home, but do you take time? Are there days where there's no decisions? I know, dumb question, but.
Do you mean so in my regular life?
Yeah, regular life, you're with your job being taxed and you have to make all these decisions and rules. So when you go home, are you more lax? I guess I should have rephrased the question.
So my son always understands that if he wants something, he has to tell me what it is that he wants, because when I'm at home, when I'm with my friends, I do not want to answer any questions. I don't want you to give me choices. If you want something to eat, tell me what you want to eat. If we're going to go somewhere, tell me where. I don't want to make any decisions. I just want to have the decision made for me in my regular life, because I do have to make some decisions.
And that's what I was wondering. Yes. It's there's no decision days. It's no, this is what.
I don't like to make any decisions.
And then when you decide what you want, if you're making the decision, then don't come for you. You made the decision.
Yes, and it's taxing. It's taxing for me. It's like emotionally and physically taxing when I have to make decisions in my regular life, because I have to make so many. And because I'm a district judge, when I was sworn in by an appellate judge, Chief Justice Carolyn Wright, who was the first Black Chief Justice for the Dallas Court of Appeals, Black female. And so she swore me in. And what she said to me as a district judge, God is here. I'm right here. That's how high my decisions are. That's
Right.
how difficult it is for my decisions to be overturned.
Right.
And so I weigh that when I make a decision, and it's very, people don't understand, because I smiled through it, people don't understand how heavy the decisions I made, especially with what I'm dealing with, child
Right.
welfare cases, criminal cases for our kids, primarily the kids I see look like us. That's taxing on me, knowing that
Right.
somebody's son or daughter who looks like me is going away
Right.
because I had to make that decision. So because it weighs on me so much, when I'm in my regular life, I just can't
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, it's
I
like,
just
yeah.
can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I think
makes
you
sense.
answered the question I was going to ask you, but I'll try to rephrase it.
Oh,
but,
well, I
but,
beat you to it. No.
See, every show she picks on me for being old. Yeah,
Well, no, I think that y'all,
needed,
because you're daughter and father,
yeah.
that y'all
Right.
can feed off each other,
The-
read each other's minds.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
about you being old.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
just
Oh, you
that
really? Oh, no.
See,
We're gonna call a spade a spade. No.
I need some help. Y'all want to come over and help me because I need some help. But do you are there instances where you're torn between like motherly instinct and your duty as an officer of the court?
I'm always torn because, okay, so let me say it like this. I always feel for the mothers and the fathers and the brothers and sisters, and they come to court, and I get it. If I had a video of my child sitting over there stabbing somebody 48 times, setting on fire, chopping them up, I still would go to court and say he's a good boy and he should go home, and they shouldn't have fallen on his knife 48 times. I get that as a mother. And so I feel bad for the mothers who are here crying for their children,
Right.
the fathers who are hurting for their sons and daughters. I
Right.
feel bad for them. When it comes to the kids, I understand that kids do stupid things.
Right.
But the things that they do that bring them into court are serious.
Right.
And so I have to do what it's required by law that I do to protect all of us.
Plus, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
part of humanity.
and when I talk to these kids I talk to during the day, there's Charlamagne knows I repeat it so much because at the end of the day I think the only way to fix what we're talking about is to teach people that thoughts become things, and to guard your thoughts. Paul said in the Bible to guard your thoughts. There's a song I quote that all the time, Funkadelic. But they did a song called Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts way back in the early 70s.
I thought you were going to say talk about the side of your neck.
Although some of them are, but it's and in case you ever listen to it or look it up, I will warn you that it's about 12 minutes and something long, and the first 6 minutes are just the most beautiful guitar waltz you would ever want to hear. Eddie Hazel, a phenomenal guitarist. But the
Right.
second 6 minutes are where the words come in, and there's a verse that I always give to these kids. I tell them it says that every thought felt as true or allowed to be accepted as true by the conscious mind takes root in your subconscious, blossoming sooner or later into an act that bears its own fruit. Good thoughts bring forth good fruit. And I can't say I can't say it in school, but I can say it now. It says bullshit thoughts rot your meat. Think right and you can fly. Thoughts people don't realize, and I emphasize how powerful thoughts are. Everything that exists in the universe existed first as a thought, no matter what it is. I'm trying to find a way to get us to realize the power of
the thoughts.
of
but
thought.
but here the thing is, I think culturally for us, I don't think we talk about depression, right? Because in other cultures, they'll sit that child down and say, you're going to think good thoughts, you're going to think bad thoughts, but you need to back up that bad thought with a good thought.
Right.
Like, it's natural. So a lot of people, I think, get lost in the bad thoughts.
bad thoughts.
Am I the only person who thinking I shouldn't eat that? Am I the only person who thinks that I'm dumb, or am I the only person, but they don't understand that those are all natural thoughts. Everybody feels like there's something else that they could have been, should have done, right? But then you have to back it up with those positive affirmations and realize that suffocating in a room doesn't mean that you don't have any air. It's the people who are around you, and recognize that if people are not feeding you positively, that it's okay to change the room.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
to speak about the room you're in and say, this is not it for me.
Right.
And that's hard for kids because they want, especially my age group, they want to be accepted by their peers.
Right.
And they don't understand necessarily between 10 and 16 that if someone is toxic, 'cause it sounds
Right.
like you were talking about people who are toxic or toxic environments,
Right.
that they need to back away for their own good, and that's why kids end up in front of me. And when you were talking about thoughts turn into actions, also those thoughts can turn into words that could get you in trouble.
That
We were
gets you in
talking
trouble.
about how you could go to jail if that, a lot of kids, especially girls, like to pop out of the mouth, especially
Right.
they see it on TV and they think
Yeah,
it's cool.
and they think it's cool.
But
That's horrible.
but under Texas law, if you say the wrong thing comes out your mouth, and let's say I say it to you, and you are in fear because
Yeah.
you believe I'm gonna do that, that's a crime.
Yes.
And kids can be arrested by those words that are coming. That other verse,
Yeah.
that power of the tongue.
Yeah.
That tongue can
That's-
get
yes.
you into
Life
trouble.
and death and the power of the
Yes.
tongue. So true.
Especially in an environment like we are in now, where if you disagree with the status quo, you are being called unpatriotic or even communistic or whatever,
Yes,
just
yes.
for having an opinion that varies from the powers that be.
That's true. That is so true. And kids, how that relates to them is, they feel like that their belief. I mean, because they think about kids, we're highly emotional at being teenagers. And although I know I haven't been a teenager for a long time, but
It
I
was
can
yesterday
see,
for me. No.
but I see
still
how they
young.
act. Like one of the young ladies I had to plea today, she was about throwing her hands, and that's because that was her way of coping. If someone challenged her,
Yeah.
someone said something that she didn't want believed. If someone
Believed to be true,
she felt that they would challenge what she said, and if no one was believing that or not on her side, then she wanted to throw hands. And kids, unfortunately, do that a lot. They react versus think.
Responding.
And unfortunately, kids who are hurting, the whole old saying, hurt people hurt
Hurt
people.
people, yeah.
But when it comes to kids don't really know how to talk their hurt. Most adults really don't know how to talk their
They
hurt.
do not.
We act it out, but kids really act it out, and that brings them into the system. So mental health, we don't, like you said, we don't really talk about things in our community, and if we did, it'd be very beneficial to the kids so that they can understand that it's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to someone. And I've tried to break that cycle, and I know I use my son as an example a lot, but that's the only way I can make it plain. I talked to him about the fact that I have to go to therapy, because of all the things I've seen in court, the things that I went through as a child. I talked to him about those things because I don't want him to feel
Right.
that if he needs help, that he
Right.
can't do it because he's got to be a man. He's got to swallow those feelings.
Right.
I want him to understand that it's okay to get the help that you need so that way you can be healthy. We need to stop that cycle, let kids know that it's okay to recognize that you
Right.
need help. And then parents, you have to not believe that your son, because that's usually who we push through.
Yeah.
The son has to be strong. He needs to be a
Yeah.
man, and being a man means he's going to swallow his feelings, and he's going to punch something or
No,
hurt
no,
something.
no.
We have to stop that cycle. A lot of these cycles, and I'm happy to see this generation coming behind me, they are more apt to get therapy. They're
Right.
more apt to recognize they need to take time away to get themselves together.
Right.
But that's still seen. I still hear when people say they're going to take that emotional health day, people still laugh about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they say, well, that's just silly. We need to recognize that we don't have it together all the time. Life is hard. And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes
It
life
is.
really will life.
Life lives.
And
yeah.
so we need to recognize that we're human. We're not perfect. And as Black women especially, we're so used to having to be just going
go-
all
yeah,
the
all
time,
together.
keeping it together.
Yeah.
And that's why people normally see us as always having it together when we're
Right.
broken and crying inside.
Right, exactly, and then making yourself a priority because so
Yes.
much we
Yes.
put ourselves on the back so we can make sure everybody else is okay.
Yes.
So I was proud of myself today because I was cleaning house and I hurt my back, but I
Due to age?
Due to age. This is due to age. Yes,
It's
sir.
okay, because if we
Yes.
weren't aging, we wouldn't feel it. We
That-
would feel the pain.
right,
And I'd rather
right,
feel the
right,
pain.
right,
or
exactly.
I can't mess up the few opportunities
Right,
I get.
you gotta take it. And so, like, I have on flats. I couldn't wear heels. Like everybody who knows me, I always have on heels. I have on flats. And it was so funny when I saw the shoes. I was like, there was a reason why you bought those. But I did go to my appointment first. But then after my appointment, I did go to the doctors. And the old me, I would have
Yeah.
self-diagnosed.
Yeah.
I would have waited and see and all
Yeah.
the things. But I just went to the chiropractor, and I'm like, I'm going to go back in 2 days. Like, so I think it's hard for us to plan ourselves in, but we have to show an example to our kids.
Yes. Yes.
It's okay. I'll tease and. If a person who goes to the doctors a lot, you think, oh, you must have Munchausen syndrome. Something's always wrong. But it's better to go and be sure that nothing's wrong than to not go and have.
Absolutely. And I have on my flats too. And there was once
Not because you're old or because you're
there was once upon a time that you would never see me in a flat shoe.
Yeah.
Because I love the heels too. But I also love to be able to walk and not have a lot of pain.
Right.
And so it's funny now because when I actually just got these shoes and I was trying them on, and my son was like, ugh, I can't believe you're wearing these type of shoes. And I would say, like, years ago, I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I realize now that I'm wearing the shoes that I thought I would never wear because I am about being comfortable and not having, because wearing the heels, eventually my back is going to hurt, my knees are going to hurt, the ankle's going to hurt. Now, I will still put on the heels, though, but I recognize that sometimes I need to take a break because I need to put my overall health.
Right. Too bad we don't have a shoe cam. We'd be like, look at our flats, y'all.
I was gonna say, I have on flats too.
I like it. I like it.
But,
health.
yes,
I know, right?
and for the guys out there,
They are. I know. We have some. Yes, we do.
and for the guys out there that might feel like they're vertically challenged, think about Prince. Prince actually died because he wore those heels so long,
So much pain.
that he was in so much pain that he was going to the street pharmacist, and it cost him his life.
And see, they didn't have the technology then that they do now. Have y'all seen that where they'll break your legs and redo your knee and give you an extra 2 to 3 inches chance? You saw that?
Very painful. I've seen that.
And you have to relearn how to walk and all the things.
For 2 inches, though. But I guess if you're 4'11" or like Prince 5 foot, I mean, I guess that 2 inches would make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 5'4", and I would love to be 5'7" because I would be the perfect weight all the time. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Exactly. 5'4" and change.
Well, then wait.
Right.
So are you saying that if you added the 3 inches that nothing would go this way, that it would stay all this way?
I'm believing it would always stay up. Right. I would. Yes,
the taller
that's
that
what
you
I
are,
believe
right? Yeah. You talk about weight, and you compare, and you're not supposed to compare. But if a person's short, and you're like, okay, all right, if I could work this out.
Yep.
If I was just a little bit taller,
It makes a difference.
It does. It does. So now, for someone who would love to be in a career of justice, they want to pursue, criminology, to be a lawyer, a judge. What do you suggest that they do to see if they even like it?
And that's a big thing, if you're going to really like it.
Right.
I had friends who started law school with me, and by the second year and having $40,000 in debt, decided they didn't want to do this and became teachers. And so I think to figure it out if you like it, it would be good for you to possibly shadow an attorney. A lot of attorneys, especially attorneys who have their own practice, are open to high school students, college students coming and doing free labor. And that way you get a chance to actually go to court, see what all of it's in, because it's a lot of reading. If you don't like to read, then being a lawyer is not going to be, no. It's a lot of reading. I mean, most of the stuff we do is reading because we have to read all the stuff to put it inside of us so that we can argue that case. It's a lot of writing. You have to write briefs. Briefs are usually pieces of paper about this thick that you write for the judges to read, and then you still have to argue it. So if you're interested in that part of the law, then you definitely should shadow an attorney, try to get into some type of speech, debate, teams, practice, brush up on your writing skills, your reading comprehension, make sure you have classes that focus on that. But there's other things besides being a lawyer, but I will say we definitely need more
And I wanted to be
lawyers.
one. I was in high school, and I was like, I want to be an attorney. And I was looking at the number. I'm like, oh, that field is very saturated. I'm going to go another direction,
And people said, my family said that to me when I said I was going to law school. But here's the thing. There's so many different areas of law. Just like doctors, there's so many different specialties. So it may look like it's saturated if you look at the number of lawyers overall. But we all do different things. And what's funny is we usually hang out with the same people we practice with. My brother called me and asked me if I knew a employment lawyer. I said, no, I don't know any employment. We don't hang out with those people.
Yeah.
Not those people.
I mean, that's how we look at it. We hang out with people we know, but there's so many different specialties.
Right.
And so even if you became a lawyer and didn't practice, having that Juris Doctor can open a lot of doors.
Right.
But also on the criminal side, being a probation officer,
Right.
parole officer, those are important. Any type of law enforcement.
What about being a paralegal?
Paralegal.
Yeah.
Now, I will say paralegals are usually, and what I've seen, are usually hired by big firms, but some highly versus solo practitioners. But there is a niche there, and then also a lot of paralegals now are helping people do legal documents because lawyers, a lot of times people
Right.
can't afford lawyers,
Yeah.
and it's best to either go someone who knows the law versus going to Google, because you go to Google, you're going to mess up. So paralegals can fill in that area as well. Court reporters. I didn't realize how much court reporters made. The court reporter I hired she makes six figures through me hiring her to be my court reporter, but she also makes extra money when we have a trial and the attorneys want to appeal, they have to have the trial transcript, and so she charges per page. And before she came to work for me, she was doing court reporting on her own, and so she would be on the beach somewhere doing closed captioning. I didn't know court reporters did the closed captioning that's on the TV. So she was making money doing that, or doing depositions and things remotely. Court reporters do a lot of work remotely, so there's another niche. And she has
I
no
might have a
student debt
career
and is
after all.
making no student debt
A court
and making
reporter.
six figures.
Yeah, but see, I'm so like, I mean, I'm loud. No, and not that I'm loud, but I just like to, I like to have fun, and I'm very upbeat, and I could just see myself being like,
But okay, so my co-reporter is funny because I think she types 200 or 300 words a minute, but in between that, she'll be typing, and then of course something to come across on my screen that she has heard somebody say, and she's like, "Did that somebody just say that?" And so, she has to keep me from reacting to some things because I'm a quick smiler. And one time I had a trial, and the mother was just, I said, I know you're here. I have my son. I love my son. I would do this thing, but you're here testifying. And my court reporter came back and said, "Did you just say testify?" I said, "Yes." It just seemed like it made sense. So things like that happen. So I don't think that you would bust out. Now, I did bust out laughing once when a lady just went raw and cursed me out. And I was having a bad day. It was right after I heard one of the hearings in the death where the parents starved the child. And I was in such a funk. I was walking around the courthouse trying to get that off me, and I was just in a bad funk. But I went to the next hearing, and the mother, she cursed me out from the time the hearing started until it ended. And normally I would hold somebody in contempt, but I told her, "Thank you." She's like, I said, "You just made my day." And I actually laughed, and I shouldn't laugh. But she made my day. And then talked about everything she was going to do to me. And I'm just laughing because, it was such a horrible day. And so sometimes things like that happen. And I did apologize. I said, "I don't mean to laugh, but you just don't know. You have made my day."
This is fun. And see, so like for me, I had a bad day on Monday. So I helped a young guy, he, bless his heart, he's passed away, but 27 years old, buy his first house. He closed in August. He just got custody of his 2 kids. And he killed himself on Sunday. So I got that. And when I was showing him houses and got his financing, he even got money back at closing. And I remember telling him throughout the whole process how proud I was of him. I'm like, "You're like one of my kids," because you meet people and you just, and even after he closed, I would talk to him. So they call me, or his fiance called me on Monday, and I hear this person weeping on my phone, and I'm just like, wow, and then when she told me what happened, I'm like, why? Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to ask why. I'm in shock, So when I get off the phone, I'm not having a good day now because this young kid who had everything, new job, career, a home, his custody of his kids that he fought for, is gone, And I just, you just don't understand. But so I got the phone, and then I found myself cooking. I made 4 different things, because I was is my therapy, you know. So when you're having those things, I mean, of course we have got to, you know, find, you know, laughter, things to brighten us up. But what do you do when it's like those days? You know, what is fun for you? What's therapeutic?
So before I was bodybuilding, so I used to go and kill the weights, throw weights. I would tell people I throw weights like I do so I don't have to throw something at somebody in court. So I used to bodybuild and I used to compete. Now what I've started doing the last few years is gardening. I've turned my entire backyard to a garden, so I get all my vegetables from my backyard.
You're a dirty girl.
Yes, and my son laughs at me because I'll get my nails done, but I'll go dig in the dirt and my nails will be messed up. But I love the way that dirt feels. I have 8 chickens.
Oh, wow.
So I have eggs every day.
Okay.
And I have, you know, my fruit trees. I have my berries. And so that is what I do. I really enjoy being outside.
That's therapeutic, yeah.
And then I have an area that's kind of like Jody's mom, where I sit out there and I have my garden and I have my bench and I have the little lights going. And so I can have a little bubbly if I wanted. So those are things that I do to kind of relax. And the other thing I really enjoy doing is just going to watch movies. I don't care what it is, but it's for 2 hours, my mind is gone and entertained. I'm eating my popcorn and that helps me. And then walking. I love to walk and I'll walk with her. And before that, I had her big sister who was 16 and couldn't walk, so I had a stroller. So I would push.
So her mama or her sister the one who had to have leg surgery.
No, she had leg surgery.
I can't believe she had leg surgery.
So the reason why is she jumped off. She loves to jump, and I didn't think that she was going to jump off my bar stool until she did.
Oh, and
so she jumped, and her leg, she just stopped using it, and so she was on lots of medication. It wasn't helping, so she had to have surgery.
Girl, you did that? You're not going to do that no
at
more.
3, had to have surgery.
Oh, wow.
But if she had been older, the doctor said he wouldn't have recommended it because, I mean, older, it wouldn't have helped. But at 3, yes. So she had surgery. But those are the things I do. And then I go to church. I sing in the choir. And those things help me. I try to leave everything at the altar. She's seen me rolling around on the floor at church doing service. And then I talk. And I can't really talk to people who are outside of court, but I talk to other judges because they are going through the same thing. Because the people who are in charge of Texas judges recognize that judges, especially judges who do the things I do, we have what they call secondary trauma. So we're traumatized by the things that we see in court. And so they are really pushing that we learn coping skills. So whenever I go to a judicial conference now, it used to be we had alcohol all the time. Well, of course, that lead to you drinking. Alcoholic. And so now we're doing mindfulness things. They're having the judges go for walks. We're going to yoga. We're doing all these things. Coloring. They have
that's fun. That's fun. Yes.
So those are things that I'm learning to do to help me cope with things that I see and then things that I'm dealing with in life. You know, I told y'all before we started, I got her, and my son says I'm a different pet parent now. And that's because I think I'm dealing with the fact that he's 21 and he's on his way out the door. And so that whole empty nest thing, she helps me. So I dress her up and she goes everywhere with me.
I'm like matching outfits. What?
Yeah, she has her black and the brown, and I have the black and the brown. So she goes to work every day dressed. We match every time. So
you got a good life.
She does. But these are things that I'm doing to help me cope. And so with him, the young man who killed himself, I know the first thing you say is why, because that's what we would all instinctively say.
Exactly.
And it used to be where people would be angry at people who killed themselves and say, they took the easy way out. But in going through, I've had periods where I've had depression. And it's not that it's something that you can't control.
Correct. Yeah.
And so if he didn't get help, then he had all those things going inside. And he loved his kids, of course. He fought for them.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you are your mind is so embroiled in the depression and, the hormonal things that can happen that can have you off balance, then even his love for his kids couldn't keep him.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that the mind kind of goes into a psychosis when that happens. Where it kind of short circuits and you can't process anymore. And for the guys that, if you're watching, don't ignore this information just because it's coming from females, because we need to do the same thing. We need to find a way to release. And I tell the kids at school that I'm so old that me and Bugs Bunny were kids at the same time. you
Do
know.
they know who Bugs Bunny is though? Because he doesn't.
Oh, Lord.
He doesn't.
And I didn't realize they didn't know who.
Well, you know,
Looney
a
Tunes
lot
were.
of them do.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, Lord.
A lot of
or
them
Daffy
do.
Duck, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
know those.
Or the pig.
You know, Porky.
Yeah,
He doesn't-
Porky the pig, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
I don't know if you finish your story, but I got a chicken that was going to look like Foghorn Leghorn that I called Leggy. And so I said, I'm calling her Leggy after Foghorn Leghorn. He's like, who's that?
Yeah.
But go on, I'm sorry. So,
I say, you never heard of Foghorn
He
Leghorn?
has
No.
never.
But but no, I mean,
I haven't either.
They're like,
That
who?
was
Who?
that
What?
was what you call a lie when you call it your
Test
test
the
lie.
lie.
That was a
Test
test lie.
That's a good one. I might have to hang on to that one. But yeah, no, I use my cartoons. I use cartoons. I have always been just fascinated with animation. Always from the time I 4 years old. So I use that was a time in my life that I enjoyed. I enjoy sitting there and watching cartoons, and my mom would be sitting there. Oh, you doing all that laughing? But she would be playing with me. But that was,
Right.
so it takes me back to that time. So I allow those cartoons to take me back to that time, and before I know it, I'm able to reset. You know,
Right.
it's important to find something to read, to have a reset button, to find
That's
one.
that right there.
Yeah,
Yes,
to find one where you can stop and you can reset and come at things, maybe see it from a different perspective after you've reset. You know,
Right. And it's important to have that because with that family, they've been relying heavily on me the past couple of days. And I've been praying and just, realizing that even though I was part of that in a professional manner, but even professionally, they're still respecting my thoughts and, wanting my guidance and my help. And that's a tall order, you know what I mean? Now, granted, I'm not below, but and then and you can't turn your back on that,
But then you have to know when you have to turn
Yeah,
your
correct.
back.
And
Because
when I
that's
say
a
when
lot
it-
of heaviness.
it is, and yeah.
you have to take care of yourself.
Correct, and I have to say, so I gave him a lot of information, and then I found at that time, okay, so look at, oh my God, we've had such a good time. This ain't that time, but I will say that I did tell them today. You have to respect the decision.
Yes,
Like you got to respect it, and you've got to, pull yourself up so you can move forward. So.
And get help when you need it.
and get help.
Right, yeah.
Again, for guys too, because we've had mental health professionals and stuff on the podcast. Guys, don't be afraid to say that, to admit that you need some help, that you need to talk to someone.
And let me say, if in the event that you need help and don't have, it's the middle of the night, there are therapists who volunteer their time. And I wish I could remember the number, but you can call and they will talk you through it, make sure you can make it to the next day.
Oh, that's
if you call
excellent.
are they connected to like 211, like Texas 211?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Well, we have to do our research
yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
and
we'll have to
follow
do some
back on that.
research.
I called them once.
Yes,
I've called them once.
This
Yeah,
this has been fun, and I've been
Yeah.
enjoying this. But the clock on the wall says we don't have to go home, but we got to get the out of here.
That's
So,
right. And
yeah.
as we always say, love yourself so you can love someone else.
We will. There you go. We will be back next week. Same facts time, same facts channel. Until then, like you said, take care. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you so much. We love you and appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, this is Charlie,
This is JR.
host of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.